We're going to read something out this book real quick by Alexander von Wuthaneau, Unexpected Faces in Ancient America, 1500 BC to AD 1500, the historical testimony of pre-Columbian artists. So this is by a book by a guy named Alexander von Wuthaneau, Unexpected Faces in Ancient America, 1500 BC to AD 1500, historical testimony. All right, check it out. Okay, we're going to go to chapter 12 of the book, right? It says, the absorption of Negroes, their sporadic representation during the entire pre-Columbian epoch in all regions from Mesoamerica to Peru, right? He says, an attentive study of Negro African portrayals in pre-Columbian art leaves us little doubt about the presence of black people in ancient America. Let's read that line again. An attentive study of African portrayals in pre-Columbian arts leave us little doubt about the presence of black people in ancient America. This paramount reality is even more surprising as soon as we examine the chronological and geographical extent of a racial phenomenon that was practically ignored in the past by professional investigators, and the general public alike. In former chapters, we have seen that this remarkable racial incident can be traced back to the remotest history of America. Michael Cole's Last Carbon Dating in 1966 of San Lorenzo, going back to almost 1200 BC, gives us an unmistakable clue to the great antiquity of the colossal Olmec heads. George Kubler described these monumental witnesses as manifesting on the part of their curators a pharaonic desire for eternity, for physical survival beyond all the accidents of time. I believe Kluber is right, and I am beginning to believe that he is also right in introducing the word pharaonic, even if it means the vindication of the often laughed at. Then he goes down, he says, in the scholarly book Blacks in Antiquity by Frank M. Stoughton Jr., Harvard University Press, 1970, there is no mention of the presence of blacks in America's antiquity. This unfortunately reflects the attitude of many North American writers as well as the posture of the general public, namely to ignore the study of an ancient America south of the border of the United States. The minute study of Mr. Snowden is, however, very interesting for us since it shows many parallels in his research work on Greco-Roman material. Similar investigation procedures are used in my book. So let's break that down. He says, the title, the absorption of Negroes and their sporadic reputation during the entire pre-Columbian epoch in all regions from Mesoamerica to Peru, right? And so, he says, the attentive study of Negro portrayals in pre-Columbian art leave us little doubt about the presence of black people in ancient America. Now, this man's a European, right? He's from Sertima. So he's saying, hey, it leaves us little doubt that there was a presence of black people in ancient America. Well, we're not being taught that in school. We being taught that we all came here on a slave ship in 1619, maybe 1500s. No one says that. No one told us that it's portrayals of us in pre-Columbian art, right? And he says this paramount reality is even more surprising as soon as we examine the chronological and geographical extent of a racial phenomenon that was practically ignored in the past by professional investigators and the general public alike. And so he like, oh, you know, it's more surprising as we examine these time periods and how many black people we saw, right, as far as artifacts of art. And we realize that people went to a great extent to practically ignore this, right, by professional investigators and general public alike, right? They suppressing the truth. In former chapters, we have seen this remarkable racial incident traced back to the remotest history of America. Remote means the most ancient history of America. Michael Cole, last dating 1966 of San Lorenzo, going back to almost 1200 BC, gives us an unmistakable clue of the great ancient history of the colossal Olmec heads. Kleber describes the monuments as manifesting. So he's like, so as you can see, he said black people been in America for a long time. Let me go down. He say in the scholarly book Blacks in Antiquity, Mr. Snowden, there is no mention of the presence of blacks in American ancient history. That's what antiquity means. This unfortunately reflects the attitude of many North American writers as well as the posture of the general public, namely to ignore the history of the ancient America south of the border of the United States. So if you've been following my post, what is he saying? They have deliberately ignored the fact that there were so-called black people in ancient America. We're not negating the slave trade, right? But we like, wait a minute. There were black people here. And so he's saying, hey, you know, it leaves us little doubt about the presence of black people in America. So what that means is, because whoever here first has ownership and has rights, right? And so that's why he says it reflects the attitude of many North Americans, that they want to erase and take away their history. That's why he said, hey, it was practically ignored in the past by professional investigators and general public alike. So even you talk about, he said Hollywood, educators, how they keep saying we came here on a slave ship, our first time to a new world. This is not a new world for us. This is also Africa. And like he said, airports in all regions from Mesoamerica to Peru, right? And like I said, once again, this comes out of this book, Alexander von Wuthaneau, Unexpected Faces in Ancient America, 1500 BC to AD 1500. The historical testimony of pre-Columbian artists. Like, you see that sister over there? Bro, look at them. Lips, these are the black folks in America before Columbus. Look, like somebody, come on, you know, like somebody in the hood right there. That's funny. And so all these features can definitely look like us because we are the original people. But you can definitely see, to me, that's one and that one, no doubt. Yeah, you see the hair, all that, right? And it just goes to show you that you're being brainwashed. Now, was it a slave trade from Africa? Yeah. But it's so much more to that story. All right, I love y'all, man. Stay with the ancestors, and I'll talk to y'all soon. One.